Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
That's right, I said it. Zackety ol' Zack should direct a DCU film. Now, I know as soon as I say that, some of you guys are gonna lose your mind. I mean, come on, look at his past attempts in the DCEU. That completely failed, trying to rival Marvel's success, but doing so with lackluster films like Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, and many more. Personally, I disagree. You see, something that these people tend to look past is studio interference. Studios messed up a lot of his movies, which is why there's so many director cuts and extra editions, because that's not what the original film looked like. Zack Snyder is a talented director. I know some of you will argue, no he's not, his movies are terrible, and I'm not going to try to sit here and defend all of his movies. Don't get me wrong, Rebel Moon is not a good film, neither is its sequel. However, Zack Snyder is good at one thing particularly: directing. I mean, personally, I think he's not great of a writer. Sure, he can think of like really cool moments to go in his movie. I mean, you can't admit that like Batman v Superman has some really awesome scenes and whatnot. However, it's how he gets there and how he develops the characters that doesn't really work out for people. But if he got someone else to write it, even someone like James Gunn, I feel like under his direction, he can make a movie spectacular. I mean, if you watch a lot of his movies on mute, and you just watch like bits and pieces, I mean, probably what you're seeing on screen right now, it looks like a really good movie. Like you're thinking, oh wow, that guy's a visual storyteller. And he is. He's great with visuals. It's just when he gets into that writer's room, when things start to fall apart. That's why I think Zack Snyder is one of the most underrated talents in Hollywood right now. I mean, just looking at his filmography, 300, Dawn of the Dead, all his DCEU stuff. I mean, he's got the talent. His slow-mo scenes actually work and don't make me drag my eyes out. But because of a few bad movies, he's been heavily underestimated, and because of his lack in storytelling. However, I strongly believe if someone else was spearheading the narrative and he just presented it, that could work very well. Also, a lot of people try to make this online narrative that like, he would never work with the DCU. That would be a betrayal to his fans. He'll only come back if they restore the Snyderverse. Guys, him and James Gunn are friends. They've been friends since Dawn of the Dead. They've known each other. He was probably happy for James Gunn now that he's in charge of DC. People try to make this narrative that like, oh, they're enemies, they hate each other. But I mean, they're really not. It's the same thing with DC versus Marvel. They don't really have trouble with each other. I don't think they really dislike each other. They just have their own distinct styles. So, with them two being friends, there's a high likelihood that James Gunn might just say, yo bro, wanna make a movie over here? Especially with that image released online, which I know James Gunn already said that they were just having fun and they thought it'd be funny to upload that image and that didn't actually mean anything. But down the line, it could mean something. Snyder could come and direct a film. However, that raises the question, which movie would he direct? A common one people suggest is The Authority, which right now has been kind of on the back burner because the only reason it was really in the DCU in the first place was because James Gunn said it was a passion project of his. However, if you haven't noticed, the man has been very busy with spearheading a new universe, Superman, Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, and all this other stuff he's having to supervise. I mean, he really just doesn't have time for things like that. However, we know that James Gunn loves writing. He does it in his free time. He's actually writing a secret project right now that he hasn't told us about. So, he probably would be able to write The Authority, and if he wrote that, he could get Snyder to direct it. And I mean, Snyder's great at directing R-rated comic book films. He's already done a few of those. I mean, the visuals for Justice League were great, and so if he did something like that, but maybe with a better script, it could be peak. Also, the Authority would be interesting for him because rumors right now are suggesting it might be an animated film, which would make sense since Creature Commandos, which was also more of a mature show, was animated as well. And the Authority, they probably don't want to be, this big theater movie where it's like, yeah, with DC, we're rated R. Anyways, watch our Superman movie, They'll probably just make an animated movie and send it to streaming or something. But yeah, I think he could knock it out of the park with that. Another film, which, this is a really hot take of mine, which I think a lot of you guys are going to disagree with, but Snyder has a really cool way of directing Batman. I think he could do Brave and the Bold. Now remember, he's not writing it, just directing. I mean, he balanced fantastical and gritty very well. And the visuals, remember when he gets first introduced, and there's that batarang, and then he's there on the wall? That was great. Imagine that in the DCU, but with a better script and better supervising. He could definitely do it, and like Andy Muschietti, he could introduce some more scary aspects in the Batman's world. I know, hot take, but I really do think he could do that movie some justice. Also, I doubt DCU is gonna do this movie, but if they ever did a Watchmen movie or show, I mean, yeah, give it to Snyder. He's already done one of those before. He's fairly experienced, so let him have another crack at it, Overall, though, things change all the time. New stories are introduced, some old ones are shelved, but he's still the same director, and I really hope that they give him a chance. Anyways, thanks for watching. I know that was a shorter video than usual, but I'm probably gonna make an Oscars video, maybe, don't know. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.